Definitely say that the government is taking all steps to speedily execute the Chennai-Ennur Port Road Connectivity Project, formerly MRIP, the elevated road project from Madurai to Chennai Port, and setting up of an integrated dry port and multimodal logistic hub at Sri Perumbudur for creating of dock space for handling and storing of cargoes, especially for containerization. Fully realizing the importance of providing port connectivity, I have invited my honorable senior colleague in the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Mr. C.P. Joshi, to visit Chennai and review the connectivity projects. I would like to assure all possible support to the Chennai port in its endeavor to overcome the problems and achieve higher level of excellence. I would also like to inform this forum that my ministry has already formed a 2-member committee to look into various issues faced by the Chennai port. This committee has already interacted with all the stakeholders and gave its recommendations for improving the Chennai port. In November 2011, these recommendations are under examination of Chennai port. When yesterday they had a first review, these recommendations will be definitely implemented, and constraint faced by the Chennai port will definitely be managed, as it was earlier mentioned by the MCCI also. I would also like to add that recently advisor to the Prime Minister has also visited Chennai Ennur port to understand the issue and to improve the standard of both these ports, and how these two ports can provide with better connectivity and some more infrastructure projects. Coming to Ennur Port now, I would say Ennur Port Limited handled around 11.01 million tons of cargo in the last financial year 2010-11. In the first 6 months of the current financial year, Ennur Port has handled 6.5 million tons, which is 39.73% higher compared to the corresponding period of the last year, which I am glad to inform you is the highest among the major ports during the current financial year. The Vivo Chidambaram port at Tuticorin, which has a capacity of 27.04 million tons, have undertaken a slew of development schemes to enhance its capacity. I'll also be happy to inform that the capital dredging project to enable the port to receive Panamax vessel up to 75,000 DWT at a cost of rupees 538 crore has been completed and has been dedicated to the nation by me on the 19th of last month. The study conducted today by the Chamber has come out with a detailed analysis of the major and minor ports in the state and the current infrastructure support available, the trends in the EXIM trade in the recent past and the future projections, etc. The study has also made a comprehensive analysis with select ports in other states as well as in other countries, and has come out with a specific suggestions and recommendations to make the Tamil Nadu ports more efficient. I compliment Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan and his excellent team in the MCCI on this worthy initiative undertaken to bring about the authorities the steps needed to fill gaps in the infrastructure area. Today, the world is undergoing a lot of economic turmoil and the Eurozone crisis has deepened. India managed to steer clear the downturn of the 2008 because of its internal strength and strong fundamentals. Although today the situation is more complex I have high hopes on our businessmen and their business acumen, and I am sure their concerted efforts will help us to tide over the current situation. The Madras Chamber, being the oldest in South India, had been an integral part of the industrial development of the region. Hence, I have no doubt that the MCCI would join other leading chambers and industry associations in assisting our businessmen in their efforts in this direction. I would like to thank the Madras Chamber of Commerce and Industry for giving me this opportunity for interacting with the business leaders from the region on this wonderful occasion. Although I would be leaving the venue after the inaugural session, I'd be keenly awaiting the outcome of the proceedings at this seminar, since it concerns development of the ports. தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ள துறைமுகங்களினுடைய வளர்ச்சி பற்றிய இந்த கருத்தரங்கத்தை நான் துவக்கி வைப்பதிலே மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that encouraging and assuring inaugural address. We are very confident that we would start the new year with a lot of optimism now. Thank you, sir. May I now request President to present a small memento to the Minister as a token of our affection. I now request our Vice President, Mr. Shivaraman, to propose the formal vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, Saraswati. Shri G.K. Vasan, Honorable Minister for Shipping, dignitaries and dais, friends. It's my privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks for this inaugural session. At the outset, I would like to thank Mr. G.K. Vasan for joining us on this occasion. For spending some time with us, and most importantly for assuring us that we will get back our place in the Chennai Port Trust as a trustee. I'd like to thank Mr. Atulya Mishra, for Mr. Velumani and Mr. Mohan Varghese Chungat for joining us, for spending time with us, for staying for the technical sessions and giving their valuable inputs to us and to the business community in Chennai for this study. This study has been a work of more than 6 months, where the Madras Consultancy Group, the Logistics Subcommittee of the Madras Chamber and the Madras Chamber have been working. It would not have been possible without the support of two of our sponsors, the Port of Antwerp and the Marg Karaikal Port. So I would like to thank both of them for their support. And most importantly, thanks to our members, of our friends in the press, business people in Chennai for supporting us through these 175 years, and looking forward to your support for this and future programs. Thank you very much.
We will stand up for the national anthem, please. नायक जय ही भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्सल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष माहे जागे तव जय गाता जन after the guests leave the place, we can have a short break for tea, and then we will reassemble for the technical session. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of a very intensive seminar, and we are hoping to see light at the end of the tunnel in this valediction. I request our President, Mr. T.T. Srinivasa Raghavan, to offer the welcome address, please.
Good afternoon. Thiru D. Jayakumar, Honorable Speaker of the Tamil Nadu Assembly, Government of Tamil Nadu, other dignitaries, friends from the media, fellow members, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the closing function of the day-long seminar on development of ports in Tamil Nadu. We are indeed grateful to you, sir, for finding the time in the midst of your crowded schedule to be here with us today. I think it's fair to say that we've had a very interesting, emotive, and rather engaging seminar on an issue that I think concerns every one of us, and as we saw in the last session, it touches different people in different ways, with only one common denominator being that everybody's got a tale of woe. But coming to the business at hand, the Chennai port, I think can hardly overemphasize this, is the gateway to South India, has a lot of history, is one of the oldest ports in the country. It has many firsts to its credit, which is no surprise for a port of its antiquity. And equally, I think it is noteworthy that for many years, the Chennai port also had the distinction of keeping pace with changing times. The chamber itself, of course, enjoys a pride of place in the development of the Chennai port, having been associated with its very founding and beginnings. We are very proud of that. We've had a long association, and it is something that we count amongst our many achievements in our long and illustrious 175-year history. The importance of Chennai port as a catalyst of growth is easily understood if we trace back to the development of Chennai, the city, and the Madras Presidency itself. This has ensured the prosperity and well-being of its people, and clearly the port of Chennai was a catalyst which saw the emergence of Tamil Nadu as a major manufacturing hub in India. It was the port in years gone by that influenced several domestic and multinational companies to invest in Tamil Nadu. It is fair to say that Tamil Nadu is today one of the premier states in the country, boasting of a world-class manufacturing base, a high-quality workforce, and products that reach far corners of the world. Sir, I am also happy to draw your attention to the fact that several members of our chamber are recipients of the prestigious Deming Award. The Deming Award, which is the equivalent of the Oscar in the manufacturing sector, is an award that recognizes and encourages companies that do outstanding work in the field of quality management, and is the oldest and the most prestigious quality award in the world. This is indeed a feather in the cap of Tamil Nadu.
The role of the state government in facilitating trade and fostering its growth cannot be underestimated. Needless to add, industry can flourish and compete globally only with the active support of the state government. Sir, you are a person who is looked upon as a friend of industry and trade and a patron of progress. We applaud your direct and active involvement in addressing the recent congestion and attendant problems experienced at the Chennai port, and we are sure that this initiative on your part will ensure that the MRIP project is a fitting Tamil New Year's gift to the people of Tamil Nadu. In today's global market, where small price fluctuations can render industries uncompetitive, the role of the state in ensuring cost-effective, time-bound transactions to and from the port is paramount. We are confident that the government of Tamil Nadu will reach out to industry and ensure their continued health and growth. Tamil Nadu also needs to seriously focus on the development of minor ports so that every corner of the state enjoys easy access to international trade and commerce. We must develop industrial activity across the state, not just in a few concentrated pockets. Obviously, the crucial role of the minor ports in the industrialization of our hinterland hardly needs any elaboration. The port of Chennai is the best example of how investment is driven by ease of access and driven away by the lack of access. Tamil Nadu accounts for 18% of total industrial manufacturing in India, and every effort must be made both by industry and the government to ensure that this grows substantially in the coming years. Ports are vital lifelines for trade and commerce and can function efficiently only when access to them is unhindered. Development of warehouse facilities is another key factor that must be taken on board to successfully operate the minor ports and ensure an efficient and cost-effective gateway to the industries in Tamil Nadu. Building an efficient and robust infrastructure across the state of Tamil Nadu has assumed greater urgency today, and we are sure that our state government would be second to none in ensuring a friendly, efficient and globally competitive industrial climate that would enable Tamil Nadu to become the destination of choice for investment, domestic and foreign. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention.
To formally welcome our chief guest by presenting a bouquet, I request President T.T. Srinivasa Raghavan to present a bouquet to Speaker Sri D. Jayakumar.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So kind.
I now request Mr. Srikanth, who had been with us through this journey, to give his remarks about these discussions, whatever took place in the whole of today, and also share his thoughts on what is the way forward. Mr. Srikanth, please.
Mr. Jayakumar, Honorable Speaker of the Tamil Nadu Assembly, Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan, Mr. Reddy, Mrs. Saraswati, and my dear friends. Mrs. Saraswati has cast too heavy a burden on me by saying that I'm going to show you the way forward. I don't know if I'm capable of doing that, but I will just give you a few of my thoughts. Firstly, politicians and bureaucrats often grace seminars as chief guests, but it is rare to find a dignitary who is well informed about the subject, meticulous in his approach to it, and willing to help the cause of development. Our chief guest today, Mr. Jayakumar, is just such a person. Some of you may know that Mr. Jayakumar served as a trustee on the board of the Chennai Port Trust many years ago. I had the privilege